And you can probably figure where our mouths are moving like paddlefoot and spinner.
Oh, paddlefoot. Hey,
yes.
everybody.
So,
what's going on?
Hi, folks. Tonight, we're going to do a long-distance beer review. Together?
Again. Long-distance beer review number 2. Tonight, we have one from Matthew at Writer's Block Brewing. Matthew's over in California.
And this is part of his beer story. Episode 17. This is not for sale.
This is not for sale. You shouldn't buy this. But drink it responsibly. Yes. Okay, this is a 6.5% ABV, 61 IBU American Brown Ale. This was brewed all the way back in January, on the 20th to be exact. Kegged on the 3rd of February and then bottled on the 23rd of February. We've had this for quite a while. If you remember seeing our episode where we drank the Pliny the Elder, we got this in the same box. We got 2 of these. So the long distance beer reviews only work if we have 2 of the same beer. Just keep that in mind.
That's right.
All right.
So
let's crack into this.
Crack this open.
Elder, you got some glassware?
I do.
Okay. Nice label, huh? Let's get
it is.
Let's
get a real nice label. It's a very pretty beer. It's a beautiful brown.
Beautiful color on that.
And there's a nice head on that.
It's a little bit light on the brown color. It's kind of like the color of Newcastle.
Mm-hmm. And it's got some nice carbonation.
Yeah. Not crystal clear.
I've got a nucleic point on the bottom of this, so it is streaming up pretty heavily from that. But it is a beautiful color.
My lighting is really poor here in the apartment, but I do have a light right above me, and
yeah, and I have a flashlight. I'm gonna look through it and see. You can get an idea.
I got a bit of cloud. I got a bit of haze on mine. How's yours, Elder?
Yeah, about the same. It has a little hazy kind of color to it.
It's a good look.
Hazy.
Good looking beer. The color is wonderful.
It is.
I almost spilled mine.
It is.
Let's get an aroma. Not much of a head to speak of, but there's definitely carbonation there. Looks good. Did you poured a little bit better head than I did?
Yeah, I was a little aggressive, but also, like I said, there's a nucleic point on the bottom of this glass.
I also have one of those little widgets in mine.
This is a very aromatic beer. It's got a nice, lovely smell.
Lovely chocolate notes on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
caramel.
venture to guess that there's some chocolate malt in this, as well as some brown malt.
Could be.
No real roast that I'm getting.
No.
I'm picking up a little bit of faded hops on it. I'm not sure what the hops are. I did watch that episode, but it's just been too long for me to recall the...
So if you go back to episode 17, you can watch his brew day.
Yeah, we'll throw... You know what?
And then you can check that out.
We'll throw a link down below for you guys to go check out his channel if you haven't seen his stuff. He's not doing Homebrew Wednesdays. He is doing his beer episodes. His beer story. My beer story. Yeah.
He's
quite the editing wizard, I'll say. This
does smell good, and I want to dive in.
Me too. So cheers, Matthew. Cheers, Elder. Touch
cheers.
Cups. Ching.
Chicking.
Nothing like the real thing. Cheers.
That's very pleasant.
He did a 10-gallon batch and he split it. And one of them he put on cacao nibs.
And this might have been
and I'm getting a whole lot of chocolate.
I'm getting chocolate.
Like, for days on this thing.
I think this is really tasty stuff. It's like almost like a chocolate phosphate. I don't know if you know what that is.
What is that?
But back in the day, in the old drugstores, and they would have sodas, fountain drinks, and they would do a chocolate phosphate. It was like a soda with a chocolate flavoring, and that's what I'm picking up, that flavor. I mean, this goes way back. I mean, it's even I was very, very little when that was out there, and I got to taste
You know what,
it.
Elder? Nobody's as old as you, so I don't think anyone's going to remember that.
No, but I can tell you, Google that shit.
Google that shit. Okay.
No, it's got a real creamy though, chocolatey flavor or in mouthfeel. It's not like chocolate milk.
Right. It's not real thin, so you're right. It does have a pretty decent mouthfeel to it.
Right.
It
not
tastes well brewed.
as
If it is,
it is
yeah,
well
it
brewed.
is. Okay. Well, I mean, you can when you have a well brewed beer, you can taste the quality, and this is a well brewed beer. I know he's got a pretty nice setup with some pumps and multiple kegels and that. This is the one with the cacao nibs. I verified that. So this was that half of the batch. I will say something in the area of critique. This beer is pretty hoppy, and that's okay for an American brown ale. Nothing wrong with that. But I think that the cacao is clashing with the hops a bit for me. It's a little on the bitter side, so I mean, if this is a hoppy American brown, I think it should have stayed a hoppy American brown. And if you're going to add cacao nibs, add them to a beer that has a lower IBU, and that you didn't do any dry hopping. I don't know if you dry hop this, but it definitely has a big kind of hoppy punch to me.
Yeah, there's a 61
Yeah,
IBU.
61
that's
IBU,
pretty
so
high.
it's pretty
So-
bitter too.
And I get what you're saying. There's a little bit of a clash in the flavors there, but I don't find it off-putting. I am enjoying this beer.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it too.
I understand what you're saying though, in regards to that. It's sort of confusing the
It is.
mouth.
It confuses
A
me a
little
bit because it's got a lot of sweetness and a big punch of that cocoa chocolate thing going on, which works well with the brown. But the aftertaste, I'm getting like all the bitterness comes in, and and then it's clashing. The aftertaste, I'm not really enjoying as much as I am as in the moment drinking it through the mouth. The mouth.
Yeah, the sweetness
experience.
is the sweetness and the creaminess is up front, and then all of a sudden it goes to the bitter.
Mm-hmm.
If it was the other way around, where you'd get the bitter first and then it would finish off smooth and sweet, that would be, I think, more appealing to me.
Yep. And I think that the hops that he chose on this, they remind me of Willamette. And having brewed with Willamette and having a lot of beers that have been made with Willamette kind of lends itself to a little bit of a sweeter character as well. But if you use enough of them, you will get a nice, big, bitter punch. We make that the Super ESB, which is a recipe from Rick Magine at Big Twin down in Texas, and that thing's got a nice big bitter kick. But then when it's fresh, those Willamette hops, and even as it ages a little bit, they carry that sweetness through. So by themselves, they kind of do what you were explaining, Elder, where you get that bitter up front and then they smooth into that sweet. This one is kind of, maybe with the cacao, it's creating that opposite effect. Any final thoughts?
I think it's the kind of beer that will lend itself well to age. I think it's held up very well. I don't know what it would have been like, 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe
when it was fresh.
Maybe at that point the bittering would have been up front.
Mm-hmm. And we've noticed that with some of our beers that they've improved extremely well with age. I remember when we did the saison with the strawberry and the mint. At first, it was just so unusual, really bizarre, and after a period of time, and the same with the other one, the pineapple and the mango. God, when they got some age on them, they hit their stride.
Yeah, like up front, they were it was a little bit too much, and then it hit the stride, and then after that, it loses it again. So I think a lot of beers will have that. They have like this sweet spot, you know, not sweet, but the prime pinnacle of their tasting drinking age.
Yeah, like
If that
IPAs
makes
should be consumed. Well, IPAs should be consumed fresh, and you can take you know, an imperial and put it in the cellar and leave it for 3 years. You know, and it will
An imperial IPA
hold its own.
or an imperial stout.
Well, I don't know. An imperial stout or an imperial.
Give me
Any imperial. I don't know about an
Give
IPA.
me my imperial IPAs up front and right
Yeah.
out of the fermenter, please. I don't even need carbonation. That's how I like them. As fresh as possible. I want to chew the hops. All right. Well, hey guys.
Any final thoughts?
That's what I've
This
got.
is this is tasty, and I'm gonna drink the rest of it.
So check out Matthew's channel. You guys, he's doing some great things, and look forward for more from him, and we'll keep an eye out. Cheers, and until next time,
Home
brew.
up.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Matthew.
Thank you.